Vancouver is often described as one of the most beautiful and diverse cities in the world. Yet for many residents, especially millennials navigating life in 2025-2026, the question of what it actually means to belong here is complicated. Vancouver identity is shaped by a mixture of natural beauty, multicultural communities, economic pressures, and a unique social culture that simultaneously attracts newcomers while sometimes making it difficult for them to feel rooted. The result is a city where belonging is constantly negotiated rather than simply assumed. One defining aspect of Vancouver's identity is its multicultural composition. The city has long been a hub for immigrants and diasporic communities from around the world. For example, Greater Vancouver has one of the largest Sikh populations outside of India, with over 222,000 people identifying with the faith in the region as of 2021. This community alone represents roughly 8.5% of the population and has played a significant role in shaping Vancouver's cultural and political landscape. Alongside South Asian communities, Chinese, Filipino, Middle Eastern, and African diasporas contribute to a cultural mosaic that defines everyday life in the city. Neighborhoods such as Strathcona demonstrate this diversity clearly. It remains one of the few Vancouver neighborhoods where English is not the most commonly spoken language, reflecting the city's long-standing immigrant presence. Despite this diversity, belonging in Vancouver is not always straightforward. Studies of immigrant integration in Canada show that immigrants living in British Columbia report a somewhat weaker sense of belonging to Canada compared with immigrants in provinces such as Ontario. Researchers suggest that structural conditions such as economic inequality, discrimination, and housing challenges can influence whether people feel truly at home in their communities. This insight resonates strongly in Vancouver, where the cost of living and housing affordability crisis dominate public discourse. For many millennials, identity in the city is defined not only by culture and community, but also by the struggle to remain financially stable while living there. Housing and economic pressure shape millennial experiences of belonging in particularly visible ways. Media projects documenting the lives of young adults in Vancouver reveal that many millennials construct identity through small personal spaces, bedrooms, shared apartments, or creative studios, because housing prices often limit broader opportunities for stability or homeownership. In this sense, belonging becomes less about owning property and more about cultivating personal and social spaces within an expensive urban environment. Vancouver identity therefore reflects resilience. People build community through art, activism, social media networks, and shared experiences rather than traditional markers such as long-term homeownership. Cultural expression also plays a major role in shaping belonging. Recent artistic and community discussions in Vancouver emphasize that belonging is something that must be intentionally created rather than assumed. In a 2026 theater panel discussing bicultural identity in Metro Vancouver, artists highlighted how belonging involves recognizing the diverse cultural realities people bring with them and ensuring those identities are represented in public spaces and storytelling. This perspective reflects a broader shift in how Vancouver residents think about identity. Rather than expecting individuals to assimilate into a single Vancouver culture, many believe the city should evolve to accommodate multiple overlapping identities. Social media further amplifies this evolving understanding of Vancouver identity. Instagram pages, TikTok creators, and local meme accounts frequently discuss phenomena such as the Vancouver freeze, a popular term describing the city's reputation for social distance or difficulty forming close friendships. Posts from Vancouver-based creators often mix humor with social commentary, reflecting how millennials use digital platforms to negotiate belonging. Through posts about hiking culture, expensive brunches, housing struggles, and rainy winters, social media builds a shared narrative about life in the city. In this way, Vancouver identity increasingly exists online as well as in physical neighborhoods. Another crucial dimension of belonging in Vancouver involves the recognition of Indigenous presence and history. The city sits on the traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations, and contemporary conversations about reconciliation increasingly shape civic identity. Indigenous entrepreneurs, artists, and cultural leaders have used storytelling, food, and business to reconnect communities with these histories. Initiatives such as Indigenous-owned restaurants and cultural programming demonstrate how reclaiming Indigenous identity also reshapes what belonging in Vancouver means for everyone living there. Ultimately, Vancouver identity in 2025-2026 can be understood as a dynamic blend of diversity, creativity, and tension. The city attracts people seeking opportunity, natural beauty, and cultural vibrancy, yet it also challenges them with high costs and social fragmentation. Belonging in Vancouver is therefore less about fitting into a predefined identity and more about participating in the ongoing creation of the city itself. Through multicultural communities, artistic expression, activism, and digital storytelling, Vancouverites continue to redefine what it means to call the city home. In this sense, Vancouver identity is not a fixed label, but an evolving story, one shaped by the people who arrive, adapt, and ultimately decide that despite its challenges, the city is worth belonging to.